started. Welcome to all of you. This is our third Art in Public Places, Art in a Roundabout. And I wanted to start the event off by just expressing my heartfelt love for James Muir and his art. This eternal light is just breathtaking to me, and I feel very humbled to have this beautiful piece of artwork here forever as a legacy to James. So whenever we will enter the community from this side of the city, we will always be thinking of James Muir. So James, thank you very much for participating, and I'm so happy that the group all voted, not that I was surprised, voted for you. I'll turn it over to Nancy Latanzi, our Arts and Culture Coordinator, Specialist. She's very special to me. So, but Nancy, continue on.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. It's wonderful to have this event happening and be materializing right today in front of our very own eyes. Public art is so special. To me, it's essential to have a city that supports the arts. So let's get on with the star here, James Muir. So I've been working with James for years on many projects, and anyone that knows James knows he is meticulous with his detail. His symbolism is incredibly deep. He gives his art all his passion, and you can tell by his work. He is a world renowned, and he has over 100 pieces to his name. So what I would like to do, and what James would like me to do, is to read, so he doesn't have to. I'm going to read a bit about Eternal that we just installed this morning at 6 a.m. This unique sculpture was created by James, specifically designed for the roundabout at Chapel Road to not only welcome the traveler to the Red Rocks of Sedona, but also to serve as pointing the way to the famous Chapel of the Holy Cross, which we all know, where his 33-foot-high Christ of the Holy Cross was installed in 2018. I was there, that was amazing. The sculpture represents the universal eternal flame in the silhouette of a Roman-era clay oil lamp. The lighted flame is appropriately illuminated by a solar-powered source in keeping with Sedona's dark sky designation to serve as a guiding light for the weary traveler throughout the long days and nights of their journey. The lamps atop a red rock cairn, a feature used by man since the beginning of time, including on the trails of Sedona as landmarks to designate the true path. Encircling the lamp is the scientific phenomenon of the one-sided Mobius ring, which, like God, has only one side, love. While technically a true Mobius takes the form of the figure 8 infinity symbol, it has been expanded to form a ring, a portal, which the sacred grounds of the Red Rocks are viewed. And I want to say that is one of the reasons the group picked this, because that's a really important part in roundabout art. You don't want it to be a distraction, and it really accentuates, because you can see right through it, just like the open gate. And you can see our beautiful Red Rocks. So he's done an incredible job. I also want to mention Diane and Gary Carson, who are sitting right here. These two very generous people donated $65,000 to the city to help fund this piece. Thank you so much. It means a lot. So we really appreciate that. And without any further ado, I would like to welcome James.
Thank you. And thank you all. Thank you, Diane and Gary. And with my apologies too. You know why. I'd like to thank the Art and Roundabouts Committee, all that are here and the two missing ones, for supporting me on this and making this all possible. Obviously the mayor and Nancy, who has stuck with me. We're both Sagittarians, and so we keep aiming for the stars, and so we understand, and she understands why oftentimes when I'm aiming for the stars I fall far short. What she told you, and I'll try to keep this short, but is the basics of what I wanted to depict in this. Something that was like a portal into the sacred red rocks that were sacred long before the white man and even long before the Indian came here, the Native American came here. But this is a holy ground. Over the years, it's kind of taken a beating. Part of the reason that I did the Christ up there was to try to bring back a sense of spirituality, not just to the red rocks, but especially the red rocks, as it reflects for humanity. We need more spirituality in our lives. This, I hope, is an enhancement to what came through me, and I can't take credit, it just comes through me, with the sun up there. And on this, when I talk about the sun, I use S-U-N and S-O-N interchangeably, so suit yourselves as to how you want to read it, because it was deliberate that the lamp faces due east. Fortuitously, or as Father Ignatius said, got incidence, it points directly to the chapel. But it also points to the rising sun. This piece actually, as our late good friend Paul Harvey, you remember the rest of the story, the rest of the story, as you know, I do allegorical art filled with symbolism. I see and speak and work in the language of symbolism. So what Nancy described here is the basic premises of this piece. What I was challenged to do, what came to me, was how could I depict sculpturally God? God. This was the best I could come up with. Specifically, the Mobius ring, as Nancy said, it's a scientific phenomenon. It's literally only one side. If you take a piece of paper and wrap it around and fasten it, you have a bracelet. But there's an outside and an inside. That's called duality. The positive and the negative are duality. Good and evil are duality. Male and female are duality. But there is no duality in the end result to God, because that duality is still one. It's all one, and that's why it's a big O. When you make a Mobius strip, they call it, it doesn't want to go into an O. It wants to go into a figure 8, as Nancy said, the infinity symbol. Excuse me, what better description for God than the infinite, than infinity? I opened it up to be a portal for people coming in to recognize and identify that they are coming to a holy place, a sacred long before humanity was here. And that's true for the visitor, but it's also true for those of us that live here, to be reminded that we live in a Garden of Eden, and to appreciate the sanctity of where we are able to live, just as the people coming need to identify with their responsibility to pay homage to God's creation. The lamp has threefold meanings. It is the lamp to my feet and a light for my path. In a moment I'll reveal the light itself. If you look at it as you're coming in, it's also a script G for God. It's also, which Diane discovered, she didn't know that it was intentionally a guardian or guiding angel holding that divine light. The rock cairn that it's standing on symbolizes the one true path back to God. And I deliberately say back to God because that's where we all started out. The only separateness is in our minds and in our actions. That duality is like a shadow. When you look at your shadow, the only way you can see your shadow is if your back is turned to the sun. Again, spell it your way. But if we turn around to where we're looking at the sun, there is no shadow. It's behind us. The same with good and evil. If we look at only that one side of God, which is love, we turn our backs to evil. We're aware that it exists, but we give it no energy. That is where we have to surrender to that sun, surrender to the divine, surrender to God. That's all he asks. To be in service to him, through surrender to him, and through service to all of his creation. Thank you very much for attending and tolerating me.
What a beautiful description of the one, of the light. And James, if you would, I would love to offer a blessing that speaks of that light for all of us. You know, the synagogue also faces east, and we also have an eternal light that never goes out. And I'm going to speak about this one tonight at my service.
Ago because we worked on the road for 10 years and I visualized sculptures in the roundabout. So the city decided to do it and that gave us the opportunity to pick one. So I love them all, but I thought I love the connection with this and the chapel, and so many people from all over the world go to the chapel. And as Jim says, the gateway to Sedona. So hopefully they will all enjoy it when they're coming into town.
We did work for the road 10 years, every single Friday from 1 to 5. We designed and decided on a 3-lane, which is kind of what this is. 2 lanes will handle the traffic of 3 if there's no stop sign. Originally, ADOT wanted to make it 4-lane divided highway with 13 traffic lights between here and the village. Of course, now there's many more entrance roads from subdivisions, so it would even more. I think the world ought to thank us, because what they don't realize is if this is going to a 4-lane highway, we'd have had hotels, motels, gas stations, hardware stores,
Yeah, you made
used car lots.
you made it livable for everyone around here.
We made it so it stayed
As beautiful as it
beautiful
should be.
that we wanted.
And what do you think of the finished project?
Oh, we love it.
Love it.
So on behalf of Sedona, on behalf of Linda and James Muir, we really want to thank you so much for your generosity. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.